Welcome on board, Anuj Jain, MD at Kansai, Nerolac Paints, joining in on the show right now. Anuj, hi, morning. Just going by quarterly performance, despite double-digit volume growth in the decorative segment, value growth was flat. When is it that you expect this price erosion to get arrested?
So it's why there is a difference between value and volume. So generally, what we have one reason is that last 3 months, 4 months, some price drop has happened, especially in the decorative. So one reason is that. Second, we have seen that in the top coats, there's not much difference between value and volume growth, but in the base coats, the undercoats, there is a difference. It is also on account of some of the new product what we have introduced in the area of construction chemical. So I think. Gradually the recovery would be there between the value and volume, but I think over the coming year, the growth would definitely be led by the volume.
All right. What about price erosion being connected with higher competition? Is that something that you would link it to? Are you worried about the higher competition within the space as a whole?
Not really as of now. In fact, if you see the size of the market, the growth of the market, I think market can absorb the new players. So as of now, we're not much concerned about that particular part. What is important is that, because the paint industry, if you see last 10 years, 20 years has been growing far better than the GDP growth, which probably in the last year, the growth was moderated. It was a little lesser than the GDP growth. And the rural sector has not contributed much, which we believe with the current macroeconomic situation and the monsoons, which are expected to be good, if the rural recovery happens, then growth will gradually recover.
Has competition impacted you? Because now, let's say, I look at the entry of JSW Group, I look at the entry of Birla Group, and they, in a sense, are giving a different kind of a proposition. While there is no big change in terms of the underlying retail price, but definitely in terms of what they're offering in terms of the total grammage or the quantity, that is significantly higher. How has that affected the entire paint industry dynamics?
So as of now, there is no impact. If you see some of the companies' names, what you're talking about, they've entered 5 years, 6 years back. One of the companies entering now. So in the paint, ultimately you have to build a brand. You have to build relations with the trade. You have to build, the painters, the contractors, and it takes time. The things happens gradually. So when the number of players increase in this industry, I think I spoke in the past also that the per capita consumption of the paint is still lower. When the number of people, the number of player grows, it also help in terms of expanding the size of the market. 25 to 30% still come from the informal sector. So it also help in terms of converting the informal to the formal sector.
All right. And what about your overall gross margins? Because they have expanded on a year-on-year basis, but sequentially there's been a bit of a dip. Going forward, given that we're seeing quite a bit of volatility in crude oil prices, how is it that you're expecting your gross margins to shape up? Can we assume 34 to 35% will be the range?
So generally what we look at the year level, because as you know that we are quite diversified portfolio. We are almost equal mix of decorative and industrial, and quarter on quarter, the salience of these businesses are different, and therefore at the quarter level you see. So therefore we consider at the year level, and I think at the year level the gross margins have expanded, and despite all this geopolitical situation and the volatility what you are talking about, we feel that it will remain stable.
Normally, the paint industry in India has been a multiplier on India's GDP. So if 8% is the benchmark, can I say that bare minimum growth for the paint industry would be 8, and looking at your base, it should be 10 to 12? I mean, is that a very reasonable assumption?
Yeah, in terms of volume, what you are saying is right.
Okay. Given that prices have been under, crude has just been in a band, 75 to 85, it may go up for closer to 90, but that just happens for a very brief period. Can I say that there is more and enough visibility on the raw material pricing for next 2 quarters?
Yes, I think there is a clear visibility, and as of now, we feel that it will remain benign and stable.
Do summer seasons have an impact on the paint sales? Because we are going through an extraordinary summer and a heat wave. Does this impact construction activity and the paint activity?
Yes, especially like if you see April, this time the heat was more than what was expected at what you see. And in many states it happened that the construction activity, there is some bar in terms of timing, that 11 to 3, 11 to 4. So we see some effect of that in the paint business.
Great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for speaking with us and highlighting how your earnings have been and what the visibility going forward is like.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.